Hey, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit, and I'm one half of the creative team behind DungeonSwag.com. And what I have here is this Pop-Tart box, and I have put a dab of hot glue in there, and I've taped it shut, and it's got some crushed-in area here and stuff. We're going to turn this into a cool thing. Well, maybe it's going to be cool. Maybe it's going to be stupid. So the first thing we want to do is we want to get a piece of toilet paper roll, and we want to mount it to this box somewhere. I'm going to use the tape side as my bottom, and I'm going to mount this here. Now I don't want this to be that big, so I'm going to flatten it down and I'm going to cut it short. What we want to do here is make a pipe coming off the front of our building. So let's get a marker. And kind of make an idea where the stuff's got to be. That was a terrible, terrible idea where that stuff's got to be. All right. So if you can see what we're doing, we're just putting this on the front of a box. Now we're going to need to make some decoration so our box looks like a building. So we're going to get some cardstock. For those of you who aren't sure what this is, because I am super cheap, this is essentially like the back of a notebook. And my son worked at Cedar Point in games, and Cedar Point's an amusement park in the United States. And if you work there in games, they throw away a ton of this because it's used as like dividers between stuff in boxes and such. So since they were not using it for anything, he would take it out of the garbage and bring me stacks of it. And it's been a few years, so I don't have quite the collection that I had. So I'm going to show you guys a cool trick for doing the corners. This is not beautiful, but you don't want to cut through. I'm cutting lightly. I'm just scoring. For you guys that do like leatherworking and some carpentry, you might know about scoring. And I'm going to put the skinny edge on the side and the big edge on the front. I'm going to mark it. So that we have less waste to cut off at the end. And I'm going to start from the bottom. And cut off the excess at the top. Because we want the bottom to be flush so that our building stands up nice. We're going to do a couple more of these. Remember, I'm doing the skinny edge to the side and the fat edge to the front. This is going to sturdy up our box. Starting at the bottom. Alright, now once these are set, we can snip those off. Now we don't really need the back of this box, okay? But I like to make my buildings so they're two-side usable. So we're going to do the same thing and trim out the back a little bit, and we're going to trim out the top. So the reason is because we don't always need exactly what we're making right here. But if we do something with the other side, we can use it in a pinch as something else. Now it'll probably be painted a similar color and look very similar, but it won't have a pipe coming out the front of it into a pool, which is what we're making today. Well, that was a poor plan. Should have done all this trim first, huh? Now I started at the bottom, working my way to the top. Because if I miss a little bit at the bottom, that's fine. But if you miss some at the top, it looks problematic. Now, today is Thursday. So I am very lucky. We're going to be wasting some of that overcut. I'm very lucky tonight. I get to paint with my partner, Tom. And I say partner, for you modern people, what I'm really saying is the person I run a business with. Some people might misconstrue what that means by partner. But Tom and I run DungeonSwag.com together, and we don't get a lot of time to hang out. So it's always a blessing and a good time to hang out with Tom on Thursdays and paint miniatures. And that's what we are doing tonight. We are going to paint some miniatures. And, sorry, I didn't think I had enough glue to get across the top, so I wanted to throw another one on there. We're going to paint some miniatures and have a nice time. And we do that live on our Discord. Not on the Dungeons and Doom Biscuit Discord, of which there really isn't one, but on the DungeonSwag.com Discord, which is, I could probably put an invite to that as a link if anybody wanted to come, but that's what we try to do once a week. We try to sit down and paint miniatures, BS, talk. I think tonight he's painting some Warhammers, and I'm going to actually be doing some kit bashing of miniatures. I don't really do Warhammer. I never thought that any hobby was worth that kind of financial commitment. And if I were to build armies myself, I would never buy the official Warhammer minis, probably, because of the expense. And I could never play in tournaments, so I just never got into it. Now, I've painted armies for people back when I was, like I've talked about before, I've been low on money in the past, when I was younger especially, and I have been approached for commissions and stuff. And I actually just had an offer on some of the stuff I made for the channel here for someone that plays Warhammer wanted to purchase it when I'm done with it, because I said I was getting rid of it. But I'm going to just give it to the gentleman, because he's a good dude, and I just don't see the need to sell my garbage that I've painted. If anybody disagrees, please, by all means, let me know. But selling garbage is not generally... And he's going to come pick it up. He lives close enough to me that instead of spending a lot of money on terrain and stuff, he's just going to come get it for free. And it's just going to cost him some gas and maybe lunch on his trip. And it'll be nice because we'll get to hang out for a little bit and talk and meet and greet. And that'll be cool. I don't mind. See, a lot of you don't know who I am. And I act like people should. But I, years ago, started this channel, and I used to stream video games, and I used to do some other stuff that I kind of got out of the habit of doing. So I'm assuming that some of you just know who I am from that. And that's all I have to say about that, because my streaming days ended abruptly because I did not understand what words had become bad words from my generation. So now we are just not going to talk any trash to people or say any bad words, and hope that we don't get in trouble. Alright, so we have our basic box done here. We're going to add a little bit of character to it. We're going to make some, well, let me throw another couple strips on here to strengthen that up, because I'm worried that it's not going to be sturdy. Alright, so we're going to come right down here. I should probably check to see if you guys can see me at all. Okay, you can see what I'm working on here. I don't edit these videos, so I kind of got to make sure that I make them watchable. Now, some of these guys on YouTube and girls do a phenomenal job with production value and just making really nice content to watch. And I appreciate that, but this is not my job. This is something I do for fun. So I do not have that kind of level involved. Alright, so my goal is to make a pond that this is going to be pouring goo into. So what I want to do here is try to cut a part of this off. I've never tried this, so I have a bad feeling it's not going to go the way I want it to. Oh, no, it did not. Alright, let's see which side looks better. That one looks a little too shallow, so we're going to do that one. And that looks like it's going to be catching any kind of goo we could be spraying. So we're going to attach this to the bottom of the box. And we're going to attach that to that. Now, this is our little pool that collects our goo. I'm not super happy with how that went, so we're going to try that again. Alright, trying to center that on there. See what I did wrong. Okay, that's what I did wrong. I was bad at it. See if I can do better. There we go. Centered. So we're going to put a little smudge there to hold that and a little smudge there to hold that. We're going to get that to set up for a second. We're going to clean that up with the gun. Doesn't have to be perfect. If there's people judging your work, then they don't need to be playing at your table. Alright, so now this is some kind of plant that's intentionally processing goo or water or whatever may be coming out of here. It depends to what we do when we make it. So we do want to add some kind of window on here for sure. And we can make generic windows or we can do something fancy. But I think we're going to do something kind of generic. Okay, so that's our building. We see it, pipe coming out there. I'm just going to add a couple things to this building so that when we use it from the other side and stuff, it is still a pretty fancy setup. Our dented side, again, not crucial that it's dented. It won't hurt us. Oh, that was terrible. All I'm doing is making two semi-identical pieces to stick to this. So it's going to look kind of like an equal sign for a minute here. And I'm roughly trying to make these equidistant from the edges. And I say roughly. So if I had to use the back of this building and I didn't want it to be a treatment plant of some sort, that'd be easily done. Whoever messaged me on Facebook and I can't remember who it was, and told me, you know, that I cleaned my mat. Yes, I did. I was feeling a little trashier than usual, and so I cleaned the mat to counter that. All right. We are just about ready to go back to the front. Now, I was wondering if anybody would be interested in making a change. What I would like to do is I would like to pull this off and put a circle behind it with rivets. And I think that would be awesome. So, and we still need to make a window. When I say 7 p.m., that's Eastern Standard Time when I'm talking about painting with Tom from Dungeon Swag. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, some of you might call that New York time. I don't know. So I'm going to pull this off. That was not terrible. Look at that. That's going to work perfectly for what we want. And we are going to draw a circle around this. Okay. Now, usually I cut some wonky, terrible circles, okay? But because of what we're trying to accomplish here, I am actually going to cut a semi-good circle. All right, that's not bad. That was terrible. Let's see if I got something else I can use. A better piece of, something a little sturdier maybe. Oh, I got some here. All right. This is a little bit thicker of a dealy bob. I don't know how this one's going to cut. So, I don't have any saws out either. Well, we're going to do it this way. Alright, we're going to make a generic jig. Here's how we're going to do that. We are going to roll it. I don't know if this will work. This was a bad idea. That was a terrible idea. Alright, we're going to try something smarter. Not much smarter, I promise you. There we go. That's a little smarter. Okay. Don't ask how that worked out. I'd be lying if I tried to tell you I knew. Okay. So we got our circle. And we can put our rivets around that. Let's get all that rough glue off there. Alright, so we're going to roughly try to center it around that hole. Smooth it down. Take two on the sewer pipe. And I messed up over here and there's a little bit of run over, so we're just going to pull that around and try to work it in the best we can. I really wanted that all to be on the inside like it was on the other one. Alright, so now we're back to this again with the more gooder pipe. It's more round. So we're going to need to prime this, and we're going to need some goo coming out of our pipe. So to make our goo coming out of our pipe, we're just going to get our glue, and we're going to start in the back. And we're going to work our way towards the front until it's just a little stream. And then we're going to let it kind of hang. All right. Now, the glue naturally, with gravity as it's cooling in the pipe here, oops, I should be holding that level so that it does this, is going to settle flat with these bubbles in it. And then that end piece there, we're going to pull that so it looks like a point and push that aiming down, okay? Now we're going to cut that off and let it solidify like that, okay? Now there's one other problem we have here, and that is there's a bit of a gap in here where you can see the air. So what we're going to do, so that when we paint it you can't see through it, is we're just going to make a little mock-up. I don't know why I did that. Little mock-up piece here that we can cut that'll go under there. Okay? So, bloop, bloop. Again, a little smaller is not going to be an issue. We just, when you look through that crack there, we don't want to see nothing. Alright, now that's what we got. Something like that. I'm going to cut a little more of that string off because I just want it to look like it's kind of dripping. There we go. Can you see that? Alright, I'm going to... Oh, we were talking about a window and we didn't do any studs. So let's make a window. That's easy enough. Let's dry fit our window. Okay. This is going to be really easy. You might like this, you might think this is dumb. But we're going to cut two thin lengths for the length of the window. And one for the width. One long one we're going to cut in half for the width. Alright, so we already know since it's cut from the same piece, it's the right width, or length I should say. Starry, starry nights. Oh, no singing. There might be some kind of license on that, and I can go to prison and they'll take all my cool toys away. Suppose you could play D&D in prison. I mean, you can make D&D anywhere. Now that could have been done a lot better. Learn from my mistakes. Don't be lazy and quick. Okay, be lazy and quick, but don't be overly lazy and quick. How's that? Perfect, nice. Alright. Looks like we're about a couple minutes out from being done here. My sons have been listening to this song over and over and over again. Not my older adult sons, but my 6 and 8-year-old sons have been listening to this song over and over and over again, and it finally got stuck in my head. I am not the most pleased dude about that. Alright, so we're going to get some studs. Some, what do you call it? Some, oh, I can't think of the word. Bolts, but not bolts. Rivets. There we go. We're going to get some rivets going. Get some stupid glue there. Oh, yeah. Yesterday when I told you guys I didn't have super glue besides gel, I was lying. It was not intentional, though. Whoops. Where did I just pour that at? Alright, so this is a pretty quick build. I think it's going to be ultimately about 30 minutes, which, you know, could have been faster if I hadn't made mistakes, I suppose. I don't know how much fun I'd have if I didn't make mistakes here and there, though. I think that's a large part of why I enjoy what I do, is making mistakes and kind of laughing about it. And, you know, I go upstairs and talk to my wife, you know, even though I don't know if she cares or not, I do tell her stories about the mistakes I've made. That is upside down. Oh, well. Oops. Shot a bunch out. That's what she said. Should not be making jokes like that. Sorry. Sorry, that was inappropriate. Oh, that's that one I glued to the table yesterday. I forgot all about that. That's going to need picked up. Alright, we're about ready to black bomb this bad boy. We don't want to go overboard with our rivets. Now this is for any kind of futuristic sci-fi game, or a you know, like a post-apocalyptic game maybe. Something like this will fit in nice. I don't know how perfect it'll be or if it'll do exactly what we need it to do, but it'll suffice, I promise you that. And unless people are being super judgy about your terrain, something that basic and simple is going to go a long way. So thank you guys for watching. We're going to come back in a few minutes after I prime it, and we are going to paint it. All right? Thank you.